Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Someone wrote in and wanted to know why, when they go to one psychic, if they go to a psychic the following day, that psychic will say something different than the psychic the day before. So I'll say to this person, apparently you haven't been watching a lot of my YouTubes because I do not encourage people to go to see psychics because they all have their own thing that they say. They fish a lot. They ask a lot of questions. They usually ask you what it is you want to know, and then you open the door for them, and they all have their own spiel that they'll say. So I do not encourage anyone to go to a psychic. I think the future should unfold in a natural manner. I know that there are some people who do have a strong psyche. I know that there are some very credible psychics out there, and if they are credible, then they do this in God's love and light, and then they'll be able to tell you information first and foremost of things maybe or something that happened in your past or something that's going on in your future before you open your mouth and say anything to them. If they can prove to you through evidential information that they bring in, only then should you listen to anything they have to say about the future. But to me, I don't encourage people to ask questions about the future. I did a reading this afternoon in my center, and I hope and pray for the person that it was a good reading. They seemed very pleased. But when the reading was done, they asked me about 4 different questions, and the person that they were with kept saying, she doesn't do psychic. Stop asking her psychic questions. But still, people have this belief that there are people out there that can just tell you your future. That when you're going to sell your house, or what job you should take, or when you're going to meet a man, or when you're going to win the lottery, and it's all nonsense. But people out there, again, you've heard me say, many who have watched me, that there's power in our words. And when people come to people like me, we have the ability to help them heal by bringing in evidential information not that you can find on the internet, but information that only you and your loved ones in spirit would be able to validate. It's the same with psychic. If you really go to a true psychic, they should be able to bring you information of something or things that have happened in your past that you would be able to validate for them, and things or maybe something that's going on in the present, right in the here and now, without you giving them any information. So I don't encourage people to go to psychics. I think I just think that most of them out there, I think I've told you statistically before, for many of you, that the percentage is like 92-93% or higher, that most of them are charlatans. The people that do this work are charlatans. They can pull up one obituary on the internet and do 10 readings off one obituary. One obituary will hold a wealth of information. They'll bring you names that'll say dates. It'll even tell you how the person passed by telling you donate to the American Cancer Society, the Heart Association. So when people say to me, is this medium credible? Is that medium credible? I don't know. I just know that for me, the only thing that should be accepted or should be done is spiritual evidential medium. And that means a person who does everything in God's love and light, does this work in a way that's pleasing to our Creator. And that would be in a way of compassion, of love, and of healing, that's my job, I feel, my mission. When somebody comes to me and they want to connect with a loved one, I want to prove to them that it's really them by bringing in information that they will absolutely be able to validate. And they will go home and say, well, she couldn't find that on the internet, because the only one who knew that was me and my mother or my grandmother or my sister or brother or husband or wife or child. So it's really important. These are people who are in deep grief, or people who suffer from depression because maybe life has beaten them up, and they go to the wrong person, it becomes all about the money, and they just fill their heads with fluff, or ask them, who do you want to connect with, and how did they die, and what was their name, and you just opened the door and gave them all the information. So again, I'm going off on that path that I usually do, but I get on I get on a rampage when it comes to psychic, because I know that so many out there are hurting and taking advantage of people who need it. So I don't encourage you to go from psychic to psychic. I encourage you to, if you're pulled to go to a lot of mediums and psychics, maybe you have this ability yourself. So find yourself a good, reputable teacher, and join it and learn how to meditate and pray and connect yourself with the divine and with spirit, and connect with your loved ones yourself. But as far as the future, it should unfold in a natural manner, and you alone are responsible for the choices you make. You can change a future event. You can by making the right decision or the wrong decision. So think about that next time you run off to see a psychic. Okay. So I hope that answers your question. And as always, I leave you in God's love and light.